Welcome back, my fays and friends, for day 2 of the Fae Movement Field Guide. Today's opening ritual essentially comes from a somatic practice that I use daily. And I really like connecting to nature, so I think of it in this way where I think of being a deer. Because if you notice how deer move, they're very sentient and smooth and calm, but they're also aware of their surroundings. And you notice their ears flicker and they look around them in this way where they know exactly what's going on around them at all times. That's why they won't let you get very close to them. This is a survival instinct that they have, so they can regulate themselves and know when they need to run and hype up their adrenaline to really run away from a predator, and when they can sit and relax in a meadow and eat and sleep and just exist. So I just want you to sit into a comfortable seat, and as the blue jays start yelling in the background, and just start by taking a deep breath. We're going to start by closing our eyes. Breathe in through the nose. At the top of your inhale, try to inhale just a little bit more. Fill up your lungs as much as you can. And then out through the mouth. A few more times. If your jaw feels tight, I want you to bring your fingers to either side and just lightly massage. And through this practice, we really focus on all of the sensations. This is actually something you can use in times when you feel stressed, maybe panicky, maybe your heart is beating really fast, and you just need a moment to bring yourself back to the realization that we do not live as cavemen anymore, and we do not need to run from tigers. Very rarely, I think there will be a predator that's actually actively preying on you. And we have a lot of sovereignty when it comes to our lives now. We do not have to put up with things that make us feel like we need to survive. I tend to get very crunchy and tense in my jaw, and it leads into my shoulders, and so I do a lot of self-massage and face massage. Shake it off. And if you have some kind of fruit or water or tea or something you can taste, you can also use that sensation as well. So we're kind of going through all of the senses: taste, sight, smell, listening. So now that we've kind of just taken a moment to settle into this space, settle into our seat, I want you, if you haven't already opened your eyes, open your eyes. And you can stand up and walk around and do this, but I'm just going to stay sitting for the video. But you can open your eyes and just kind of let your chin point in different directions and just take a look around you. And just notice what you see, what you may not have noticed while staring at the screen. I'm seeing sun rays coming through this cherry tree above me. I can smell the fresh grass. And I'm breathing with this as well, just a natural breath, not trying to change anything about it. Maybe even look behind you. I see little blackberries. If you have tea or fruit, like I said, you may taste that. So we're just trying to get into our bodies by using all of our senses. And out in the forest, I actually will act like a deer and walk around in silence, so I wouldn't be talking or teaching or anything like this. In fact, if you want to cut off this video and just have a moment in silence, I highly recommend that. And just breathing and just noticing, seeing what's around you. Maybe putting a hand somewhere on your body where it feels grounding. And I actually just noticed a blue jay that I didn't notice before, preening itself all the way at the top of a tree. Every time I do this, I notice something new that I didn't realize was there. If you got up and walked around, or if you're in the moment of this exercise, come back to a seated position, and we will move on to the field notes. Today is all about slowing down, not rushing. Oftentimes when we rush things, that is when we trip ourselves up. So the first field note journal prompt question of day 2 is, where in my life have I been moving too quickly to truly notice myself? Lately I've been a bit better at this. It's summer. I'm spending more time in nature. I'm spending more time outside. However, there are times where I wake up in the morning and I just go right into eating. I haven't even listened to my body. I haven't even drank water. And I think that the way you start your day is a huge inquiry into what's really going on with you. And I have used eating as a distraction method for a very long time. And that's been an interesting relationship that I have navigated through my life. And so I notice that sometimes upon waking up, I will just eat without listening to my body. And sometimes I'm actually not hungry. So moving too quickly, and in certain times when I've been working an hourly job and I'm just in the hustle, the grind, I will stop noticing what's actually going on with me until it's too late. That's why I utilize these practices, so I can catch things earlier, so I can prepare and prevent myself from crashing out, from burning out. So just slowing down and taking time before I eat food. If I'm offered food, especially when I'm around my mother, when I'm around my grandmother, they want to love me and mother me and give me food and serve me, but I need to slow down and be like, actually, is this the right food for me? Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I just need to sit and breathe for a little while, and I need to drink some water, and so just noticing those things. The second question is, what environments or habits help my nervous system soothe? I think creating environments where I can easily go touch a tree, like go be out in nature, and not just like this. This is my father's backyard. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. I think he tends to this land just amazingly, beautifully. But even somewhere where I won't need fenced off privacy, I can just go out into the woods. I love environments like that, but when I am around people, because we can't get away from everybody, and that also can fall into an unhealthy category, creating environments where I feel strong to speak my needs, my feelings, and where I can easily allow my emotional triggers and things to just like flow through my body. Creating that environment involves having boundaries around how I want to be perceived by others, how I want to be treated by others. And sometimes it's the hardest thing to do, to distance yourself from people that you love, but sometimes it's very, very necessary for your own healing and for their healing and understanding of what you need and how you want to be treated as a human being in this body that is so sensitive. We are all so sensitive. This question is a really good one to come back to. What environments or habits help my nervous system soothe? Because things change. Things change and things evolve, and we change and we evolve, and sometimes we feel strong in certain environments, and then soon enough we actually need something different, and that's okay. That is okay. And I also think about my routines, my morning routines, and even going back to like waking up and slowing down and checking in and doing that morning routine is huge. That will set up my day for however it's going to feel for the rest of the day. So the third prompt is, what does my body feel like when I slow down rather than rush a single task? I asked this question, I wrote this down because sometimes we'll be doing something simple like cleaning our bathroom or organizing our car, and we start to rush like we're in survival mode, like we're being chased by a tiger. Are we being chased by a tiger? No, we are not being chased by a tiger. We are not being chased by a lion. There is no bears or mountain lions near us. But for some reason, we feel like we need to get this thing done. That can come from a lot of different root causes throughout our life. But point is, maybe we know where it came from, maybe we didn't. It doesn't really matter where it came from, but being able to consciously feel into that and be like, wait, why am I tensing up so much? That's not good for my body. Let me just sit for a moment. Let me just relax. Let me make it into a dance. And while I'm cleaning this windshield or cleaning this countertop, just relaxing and melting into the experience of it, not trying to get everything done so fast. Not trying to get everything done so fast. We do not need to hustle and rush. That's not what human beings were created for. We are a part of nature. Do you see nature rushing? No. And actually, the quote I wrote on the opening ritual is, nature still blooms, even though it's not rushing. It's not rushing, and yet there are cherries on this tree, all in good time. The fourth and final prompt is, what small moments invite me back into presence? Honestly, it's moments where I sit under trees like this, where I slow down and listen more than I speak, where one of my favorite things to do is just kind of like sit close to the ground and find a bug and just watch the bug go about its life. Notice the sunshine shining through the trees and seeing the glimmers of light on my face in the mirror, maybe in a reflection. And I think when we really take time to notice those things, it does invite us back into presence. And I mean, moments where we are rushing and we are tense, and then we realize that that's a moment that brings us back into the present. And I just think it's really powerful to think of these very simple things throughout our day. And that's why I made this workbook, so we can practice that, because the more we have that in our world, the happier we're all going to be. We're all going to be walking each other home, and we are walking each other home in so many ways, and it's more complex than I could ever even explain or understand, really. I could pick it apart for days and hours and weeks and months and years, and I have been. Trust me, I have been. I am a nerd about this stuff. The answer is always just to come back into the present moment. You don't need to always understand something. You don't always need to get to the end. There's not a mountain to climb. I always think of it as we're all on the same mountain, but we're all on different paths. And when you hike up a mountain, is it straight up the mountain? No, it's not. It's never a linear path. That completes our day 2 of the Fae Movement field guide. I am very happy to share this that I created, and honestly, even this moment of seeing all of my thoughts coming together and all of my ideas and creativity, and I created this, like I am so proud of myself, and I'm also so grateful for all the people who have supported me throughout the years, whether I was actually creating this physical thing. I have been thinking about this for the last 4.5 years. And it finally came into this realm, into this 3D realm for us to touch and see and use and feel. And I'm so happy to be sharing it. I'll see you tomorrow on day 3. Thank you so much. Love you guys.